So I'm going to do a little ironing. There's so many different pieces to this. So this has already been ironed. Put it over here. Some of this has and some of it hasn't. But before I stitch these all together, they always have to get ironed first. So they get dyed, they get boiled, they get washed, they get ironed, they get stitched. Sometimes they get cut apart again and stitched again. They go through a lot of different perambulations before they become finished artwork. The pieces that I'm ironing right now are going to be part of the fern piece. This is going to be like part of the backdrop for it. But I'm going to sew other things onto this. This is definitely going to be part of it. So iron that, and then here. So I'm going to use that again in a minute. So this is just a tangled pile of color, but I do stitch these together and then make other fabric out of it. If I was a quilter, like some quilters, they call that strip piecing, if you do it with a machine. So my process is similar to that. This piece is kind of prettier on this side, but I like the texture better on this side. I never know what's going to happen, but I know I can use this. I'll have to cut it though. So then these little skinny ones, it's impossible to pin them together and stitch them together unless you iron them down first. So that's what I'm doing with this. So it's a beautiful day today, and just for a few days I'm working on my outdoor studio, and I'm getting ready to do some dyeing. But do you ever find in your life that you want to do something, but then there's other things that come in front of it, and you have to do all the things that come in front of it before you can do the thing you're really trying to do? And that's kind of where I am right now with my dyeing, is that I'm clearing out the space, getting all the grapevines pulled out of it, and then I can set up my table. Like, what if I suddenly found a use for this? You just never know. I certainly can't find a use for it if it's not ironed. So it can go over here. And what I'm doing right now is talking out loud the things that are usually in my mind. I was talking with some people this morning. They have many, many worries. I probably could have many worries too, but I'm very busy worrying about what colors to use. And it's just amazing. I'm not discounting the worries of the world by any means, because the worries of the world are important and valid, but I find that they pale in comparison to the intersection of tertiary and secondary colors. And the other thing I find is that when I come out of the studio, the problems are still there. Not to make light of them, but at the same time, I'm working with a network of people in the 9-figure network, and there's a mindset that I have adopted over the past year, which is that I get to decide what controls me, for the most part. There are some things I can't, but for the most part I can, and so I can let things affect me or not as I choose. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Some things you can't change, but you can change the way you react to them. I guess that's what I'm getting at. So I choose to react with peace in my heart and getting things done. So far, the day is only half over. I was just, up in my kitchen. I just came back home from a busy morning in town. I'm at a place now where I only have to go to town once a week, so I try to make the most of it, but I'm often exhausted at the end of it. And I could have relaxed for a minute before my next appointment, but then I said, no. What if I just go down and spend an hour in the studio and see what I can get done? trying to do content every day. We're part of a content challenge where we're trying to do 365 days of content. And that's been really productive for me because I'm making connections and getting to know people, and hopefully, hopefully some of you hear some of what I'm saying, and I don't even know who you are yet, but I can't wait to find out who you are. And none of that would happen if I just stayed home. So I come down here, I'm getting a bunch of stuff ironed, I'm getting more, I figured out what the next step is going to be on my big piece. I'm getting all these pieces ready for this little piece for my client in Rhode Island. And I'm still going to be able to get home. I've got chicken in the oven, don't forget that, so I don't burn it. I'm still going to be able to be home in time to have my next appointment, and I'll have all of this work that I can take home with me and work on instead of thinking, oh, what do I do next?